Remember the last time I was out here, we wanted to know where the scientific evidence is that it is okay to support some of the largest corporations in this country, but we can't come out and support our local Main Street small mom and pop small businesses. We don't understand why it is, and people who have the means to do so, God bless them. But we don't understand why it is that it's okay for people with means to send their children to private school, in the classroom, full-time, 5 days a week, but working class families can't. We continue to not understand why it is that we can turn on the TV and watch the Portland Trail Blazers and the Oregon Ducks and the Oregon State Beavers, but our kids have a hard time taking the field for their own activities. This is crazy stuff. This is crazy stuff, you guys. We don't understand why it's okay before these COVID-19 restrictions to have some of the worst schools in the country. Because government has never once created a job. Entrepreneurs create jobs. Local Main Street small business owners create jobs. Please be able to pick up the garbage. And people say to me, they say, Mayor, how fast are you going to be able to clean up the homelessness issue? And I say, I don't know. Maybe about as fast as Trump fixed the border, and about as quick as Biden screwed the entire thing up. You know, there's an old saying, the more people you upset, it's because you're doing something. We take the issues head on, and we took on the issues that people for too long kicking the can down the road. And we're not going to do that. It's not in our makeup. We may even call a guy like Ron DeSantis and ask him what he would do with their parents. Maybe we should teach simple arithmetic. Maybe we should teach kids how to read. Maybe fractions. Maybe some decimal points. What about some civics education? Or shop class? Right, yes, or trades and all those kinds of things. We are so behind, only in Oregon are you ranked last in everything and then decide to be the last to let kids back into schools. Only in Oregon can you be ranked last in everything and decide to be talking about critical race theory and sexual education and all the things that people should be learning in the privacy of their own homes. Unbelievable. It's ridiculous. Thank you for that question. As I am calling on all county election offices across this state to not report their numbers until the next morning at the exact same time. And the reason we're doing that is I am tired of all the different election offices throughout the different parts of the state provide the numbers early on for if there is corruption going on in Portland so that they know the number to catch up to. And when you have over 40% of Americans and Oregonians alike who have questions about our electoral system and voter fraud, at a very minimum, to ease people's concerns, I think we can announce the vote at the same time. And if people in Portland have a problem with it, why? Why? And so we're not going to let them just tread on us without standing up and fighting back anymore. So that's one way we do it. We reinstitute the law. And you know where it gets really disgusting is when you realize that those teacher unions were never going to want kids back into the classroom to begin with. And that they still had their members cut in front of the line to get that vaccine. And let's talk about vaccine. But vaccines either work or they don't. What are these idiots in Washington, D.C. doing? We got Biden walking in there to give the State of the Union address. He's in a mask, he's vaccinated. The people behind him are in masks, they're vaccinated. Vaccines either work or they don't work. But I don't know about you, I've yet to see the scary movie on a vaccine, on a pandemic, where the vaccine comes out and the movie keeps going. What is that all about? That's the worst damn sequel I've ever heard of. The vaccine's out and everybody's healthy, but we're still wearing masks. We're still isolating. What in the hell are we doing? I mean, you guys, what are we doing? John says to me, he goes, now, Mayor, what kind of phased opening would you be suggesting? So, Steve, have you not been listening? Today, Steve, we open today. When should we? One is how about these gun bills that just got passed through? How about we repeal those? How about we repeal the executive order on the unfair cap and trade that hurts rural Oregonians all over the state? What about we get rid of taxpayer-funded abortions on demand? What if we go after these House bills like House Bill 2001 and 2003 that says that you can have all these duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, in single-family residential neighborhoods? Because if we want to have those kind of neighborhoods in our community, guess who'll make those decisions? Our communities. Our communities. And so those are the things that we would look to repeal. Or how about looking to maybe federalize our state police so that when they arrest these protesters in downtown Portland, they got to go to federal court. Now, I'm sorry to say this to people of the extreme left, but when you turn on your lights, when you go into Buffalo Wild Wings and enjoy the ball game, that power's coming from somewhere. And the vast majority of it's not coming from solar and from these windmills. It's coming from natural gas, okay? And if we're not, the city of Portland, it's called Portland because it's supposed to be a port. At a very minimum, let's open up the ports in Portland. Well, I'm that's the easiest damn question I've had yet. Yeah, 100%. As governor, I would absolutely talk about that executive order. I have no problem using that executive order. We would definitely look to forgive any fines that any administration here in Oregon put down on our small business owners who courageously opened that. Yeah, absolutely. Well, so I'm just gonna give you some cold hard truth here. Nobody shoots themselves in the foot as good as Republicans do. It's true. And you think about the last recall campaign that has happened, where we had two dueling recall petitions going on to get rid of Governor Brown. We couldn't even just coalesce behind one, right? And you talk about, I think a lot about Hamilton and Jefferson, because those two guys decided to start fighting with each other after the Revolution, not before. Not before. Too often as Republicans, we're fighting with each other before the Revolution. And we're in the super minority here in Oregon. And so one is I don't think we can have such a litmus test for all conservatives who run for office. We need, until we get into the majority and get some power, we need to go out of our way to work together and to get people elected. The other, and so I say it to say is I know we all have jobs, I know we're all working, these are unprecedented times. They're unprecedented times. We've got to all stand up and we've got to fight back. I don't want to sound like a revolutionary here, but the folks there during the Revolution, when they signed their names onto that document, the Declaration of Independence that day at Freedom Hall, the king had challenged them and said that he was going to hang all of them. They're under threat of public hanging by the king when they put their names onto that document. And they had a lot less coming down on them from the Queen and King of England than we've been put through over this last year and a half. So if there's a time to step up, if there's a time to get out of your work, out of your houses, if it's time to knock on your neighbor's door or to forward on the content, now is the time. Now's the time. If you can't get energized to make a difference now, if you can't get energized enough to stand up and try to take Oregon back now, you've lost. We have lost the fight. But we can win this thing. We can win this thing.